Do you feel stuck in your real estate investing journey, maybe frustrated by how long it's taking, or there's no progress really? You're not making enough money on your real estate investing? If that's you, it could be because you're stuck in one of the 5 stages of transformation. Good news is, I'm going to share with you what those 5 stages are and tell you how you can get out of that rut and move on so that you can become financially free with real estate. Let's do this. I want to talk to you today about kind of what I call the 5 stages of transformation. And I've kind of studied this over the years, and I'm constantly fascinated why some people are successful and some people, well, they're not. Some never make it out of the gates. Some go charging through the gates and then kind of stumble and fall and just don't get up and slink away. Why is that? And I have kind of 5 stages that I see the transformation taking place. And the first stage is really indecision. Indecision is you're not really convinced something is the right path. Whatever that path is, in the case of multifamily, you're like, I'm not sure if multifamily is for me. It sounds way too advanced. I don't know anybody. I don't have any money. I don't know how to do it. But you're intrigued maybe, so you're listening to podcasts and books, and you're kind of in this analysis paralysis stage where you're kind of on the fence. You haven't really decided. The next stage of transformation is commitment. Commitment is where something happens in your life and you say, enough is enough, and you want to do something about it. In fact, you start doing something about it. You commit to a journey, and you may not have all the details, or in fact, many details not figured out, but you're like, man, I got to get on this journey. I cannot be where I am right now this time next year. And you'll hear that refrain in Sudhir as we interview him, where when he kind of came back after he was off the track, something just clicked in his mind and he started to commit himself to the journey. And that changes everything, because what happens is a commitment always results in action, and a recommitment always results in action down the road. That's what it is. That's a commitment to the journey. Now, once you're committed, typically what happens, there's a learning process. You go to some kind of boot camp or you do an online seminar, whatever the case may be, there's a learning process. And now what happens though is not everybody goes on to stage 4, which is kind of practice. Okay, practice, because a lot of people are literally professional students all their lives. I know people who've gone from seminar to seminar and still haven't done a darn thing. And it's because they feel like if they're learning something, they're taking action. Well, they kind of sort of are, but at one point you got to get to that stage 4 of transformation, which is practice. Practice is doing the things that you've learned in a safe environment. In our world, you're kind of what we call working in a throwaway market, right? So you're analyzing deals, talking with brokers in a market you aren't going to buy deals in. And typically it could be in your backyard. You wouldn't buy anything, let's say in Boston, let's say, okay? Because their cash flow is not there, but you're going to call on brokers. You're going to analyze deals for a period of time because it's a safe environment. If you screw things up, it's not the end of the world. You're practicing. Okay. So practice is really stage 4 of transformation. It's absolutely key, because during this time, you start building new habits, and you'll hear that in Sudhir as he did put in a discipline that was very new and unaccustomed for him. And it was during this practice phase. The practice phase is critical because yes, it builds new habits, but it also builds confidence, right? So knowledge gives you some you start to believe a little bit more, but confidence is key as you interact with brokers and investors. That confidence is absolutely key by practice. You have to practice what you've learned. That is a necessary next step after that. And then step 5, so transformation, is consistency. And consistency is kind of, I would call maybe the boring stage. It's really where you're taking tiny action every single day for long periods of time. Only through consistency can you get lasting transformation. So those are the 5 stages that you really need. Is you need to go from this indecision stage, which is fine. You can be there for a long time, and no one's putting a gun to head that says thou shalt decide. Okay. But maybe you should decide. Maybe you should decide, this is for me. This is not for me. Right. So that gets you to the next one, which is commitment. And commitment always results in action. Then the 3rd stage is learning. Then you have to practice in stage 4, practice what you've learned to build new habits and confidence. And then the last stage is consistency. And as Hal Elrod says in his book, The Miracle Equation, consistency is the key. So you're committed to those activities that will ultimately get you to that outcome you desire, but you're committed to those activities for as long as it takes. There is no other option but to continue doing that until you get the result. You continue analyzing deals, continue talking to investors until you get a deal and get money raised. So hopefully that was valuable to you as you map out your own journey from where you are now to the transformation that you desire, which could be your first deal, financial freedom, or a 1,000-unit portfolio. All right, hopefully that was helpful. You can identify if you're stuck in your real estate investing, you can kind of recognize what stage you're in and maybe what you need to do to get out of that stage into the next stage as well. Now, if you want to find out more about investing apartments, it's actually much easier than you think it might be. I want you to watch my masterclass. It's called Apartments 101. And it gives you an introduction into apartments, why they're so good, why they're better than single family house investing, and more importantly, how you can get started even if you have no experience, you don't have a bunch of money in the bank, how you can break into this game and literally within 6 to 18 months, become financially free with real estate. Check it out. It's apartments101.co. Catch you later.